Hello everyone! Thank you guys so much for watching this Halloween tutorial. I hope you're as excited as I am. So I started with my Makeup Forever Nourishing Primer. I just wanted to have a primer so it would last longer. And then I'm going in with my Maybelline Matte and Poreless Foundation in number 228. Now I'm going in with the LA Girl Concealer in the shade Porcelain. So my thought behind this look was I knew I wanted to have a glam look, kind of like a bombshell look, and then have, you know, the zombie side of it. So for this glam part, obviously we're gonna go all out. So I am highlighting as much as I can under my eyes, and then I'm gonna do the forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and then the chin area. Of course, I'm blending all this out with my handy dandy beauty blender, which is my favorite way to blend anything out. Doesn't have to be a beauty blender, but any beauty sponge will do, and it is damp. That's very important. I know I say that in every video, but it's because it's the truth. And then I'm going in with my all-time favorite Wet n Wild contour palette with the light shade and that beauty blender. I'm swiping the beauty blender in the powder, and then I'm pressing it in my skin in all the areas that we put the concealer. So now for the contour, since this is a full glam look, I'm going in hard with the contour shade and then my Urban Decay fleshed brush. It's a very dense angled brush, so I'm getting a nice harsher contour, but that's what I wanted because I wanted it to be obvious that this was a glam look. And then I did take a fluffier brush and I just blended out the edges and then went on the forehead with the same contour shade. And then I also went in to contour my nose. Then I'm going in with the NARS Orgasm and Super Orgasm blush. So inappropriate, sorry, but that is the name of the blushes. And then I went in with Champagne Pop from Becca with Jaclyn Hill, and like, how crazy is that? I normally don't use this that much. I don't grab it too much from my kit, but you know, when I'm doing a full glam look, it's obviously very pigmented, so I went in with that. And then I'm cleaning up under the edges of my contour because I feel like when I'm wanting a really crisp look, I go in with the lighter shade underneath the contour to have that cleanness. And then I'm going in with this Urban Decay eyebrow pencil. I think it's in the shade brown. And then I wanted my brows, of course, to be very defined. You know, whatever glam look you normally go for. So then I'm doing my favorite part, which is like, oh my gosh, I could watch this all day long. I don't know why, but I love it. Going in with some concealer underneath the brows to clean it up and also to act as a primer. Then I'm going in with just a little bit of that lighter contour shade just to set that. And then I wanted to go ahead and highlight my nose, which I could never go a day without, my disco ball. And I'm going in with a Mary Luminizer for that from the Balm. Now for the Morphe 350 palette and the Morphe M200 brush, I went in with that basically orange shadow from the palette, and this is my transition shade, and I am just throwing it in there because it's just the main transition shade that we're having. So I'm throwing it in there, buffing it out, and I want it to kind of go towards my brow a good bit because this look we are doing a smoky eye. So then I went in with that softer brown shade, and then I'm just throwing this in my crease as well. And then we're gonna go in with the black shade. I'm going in with my Smashbox Double Exposure palette. Any black shade will do, and then a flat shader brush. And all I'm doing is I'm pressing this on the lid. So this is actually one of the easiest eye looks I've ever done, and I used to do it all the time when I worked at Sephora just to get ready in a hurry. I know you wouldn't think that because it's like, black eyeshadow, are you serious? But it's actually really simple. So just throw those transition shades down, then we're just putting this black shadow just on the lid, and here I'm going in with a clean brush, and I'm just blending the edges of in between the black and the transition shade, if that makes sense. Then I went in with that dark brown shade on a more tapered blending brush from Morphe, and I'm going in between the transition and the black shade just to have a little bit more of some blending going on. Here I'm going in with this Sephora shadow. This is very old, and all it is a black glitter shadow. So I put it on the lid to have that glitter. So it's very dramatic, very glam, and I love it. Whoa, we're going fast. Okay, so I put on those lashes, and then I went in with that orange shade with a pencil brush, and I'm just going to start to define my under eyes. So I start off with the orange shade, and here I'm going in with a lighter brown shade that we used earlier, and then I'm gonna start to build that on top. So I'm starting with the orange shade, now this light brown shade, and then here I'll take a skinny brush. I'll go in with the dark brown shade from the Smashbox palette. I'll go in under the eyes with that, and then I will top it off with the black. Whew, that was a lot. So basically we're just blending and layering just like we did on top. We're doing that underneath the eyes as well. So this is a full-on smoky eye because we are blowing out that lower lash line, and I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. So then I am combining my false lashes with my real lashes with some mascara, and then also going on the bottom lashes with the mascara as well. Alright guys, here we go for the zombie look. So I'm going in with this Urban Decay shadow. I will obviously link it down below, and then this, actually it's an e.l.f. concealer brush, and I'm going to start the process of adding the shadows of the bruising and the dirtiness that I want on the zombie. So I knew I wanted it on my forehead, kind of going across my forehead and my face, so you could still see my makeup, you could still see that it's a glam zombie. So I didn't really look at a picture, I was just kind of winging this, so bear with me as you see me kind of just going back and forth. But here what we're doing is we're just adding this really ashy brown shadow in the places where I know I'm going to want that bloody texture. Okay, so now we're gonna dip into this liquid latex. I got this off Amazon, and it is so gross smelling. I made sure that I had a towel because this stuff is very messy. So what I did was I knew I wanted to kind of have like 2 or 3 scars going across my forehead. So first what I did was I had toilet paper. I used toilet paper first, and I kind of bundled it up and started laying it down. But first, the way that all this liquid latex works is you're gonna lay down liquid latex, and then you're going to lay down your paper product or whatever you're using, and then you're going to do another layer of liquid latex, because what it does is, you know, it first acts like a glue for something to stick onto your face, and then you lay the product down on the face, and then you put the liquid latex back on to act as like a sealer. So I know that's a lot. So here I'm just playing around with the toilet paper, because what I'm doing is I just want this to kind of act as, you know, I don't know, scarring and bloodiness. So I first lay down toilet paper, and then we'll go in with some, you know, shredded cotton balls to add on to that. So I know it's a lot of back and forth you'll see me doing, but basically I'm just figuring out what's going to look best to have the gross looking texture in the end that the zombie has. So yes, so liquid latex product, and then liquid latex again. Obviously if you're doing this at home and you have another idea, do whatever you want. Place, if you want this all on your mouth, if you want it all on your forehead, if you want to put the bloody texture in your contour to act as your contour, that would be cool. So it's actually just really fun just playing around with this special effects makeup, if you know what I'm saying. Yo. So here I just wanted to kind of pick apart at the texture a little bit more. I really learned as I went, so if you're doing this at home, you'll totally get what I'm saying. Just kind of play with it. Obviously it doesn't need to be neat, because the more messy it is, the more realistic it looks. So I'm just adding more texture with the cotton balls. The cotton balls are actually really cool, because that is the most texture that you'll get with that in the liquid latex. So I'm just going back and forth, back and forth. As you're setting your texture with the second layer of the liquid latex to set on top, it does get pretty sticky. So you kind of just have to work with the cotton balls and the way it's sticking on to your skin. So it kind of gets a little messy, which is why the towel is a very good idea. So here I'm making the mouthpiece of the bite that I'm going to be putting on my neck. So what I did is I just rolled up like a 1-ply piece of toilet paper, and then I added the liquid latex first layer on my skin to act as the glue, and then I laid down the little bite piece on my neck, and then I go back over it with the liquid latex. So here we're going to add the foundation that we used on our face with a brush on our texture that we just created. So this is kind of fun, where this is where it's going to start to kind of come together. So all I'm doing is I'm stippling this onto the skin everywhere that I put the texture in the liquid latex. And then I also set it with a little bit of powder in the end, so that it just doesn't get all, I mean, the more gross it looks, the better. You don't necessarily have to set it with powder, but I chose to. So it's just a simple Shane & Cosmetics face powder. And then I went back in with that ashy brown shadow just to add a little bit more creepiness. Now to get bloody, we're going to be using this demon blood. How gross is that? I got it at the Spirit Halloween store. And the difference is it's very purpley, like a dark blood. So we're going to layer our blood. So I'm going in with the cotton ball, which worked pretty well for me. Be careful, because obviously it's very liquidy and it'll stain. So I just poured it in a little tray. And I'm just popping this right on top of the skin layers and texture that we've created. I'm just placing that on it with the cotton ball, and be as messy as you want, because, you know, it's Halloween and it's a zombie. So that's kind of the best part of this, is if you mess up, I mean, you're not really messing up, you're actually making your look even better. So we're going first in with that demon blood, and then here I'm going in with this vampire blood here in a second, right there. This is definitely more of a red blood, but this is kind of acting as like fresh blood. So it's like the purpley demon blood is blood that's dried, and then this red blood is, you know, something I'm actually bleeding, the zombie's bleeding. So I'm going in with the smashbox brush just so I could have a little bit more control with it, and I'm just kind of playing around with, you know, placing it here and there. The demon blood I definitely kind of put everywhere, and then here I'm kind of just focusing it in different patches. Alrighty, so I did put some demon blood on the mouth part on the neck, and then now I'm going in with that vampire blood just on top of the actual bite piece, because this is going to act as like a raised scar, you know, oozing out biting piece. I know it's gross, but it's fun. So then I'm going in with this black eyeshadow with an angled brush, and then all I'm going to be doing is doing little lines on top to act as the teeth marks that are in, you know, grooved into your skin. So this turned out really cool, and I was really happy with it. So I'm just adding black all along that bite mark on my neck. So here in a second you'll see this is the last step to this look, is I'm going to be going back in with that ash brown shade, and I'm just going to be focusing that on my neck to add a little bit more of that bruising and dirty look that the zombie has. I'm focusing this in my décolleté area, so just follow the grooves of the bones that are sticking out and you'll be good to go. But that is pretty much the final look, which is so weird. It's so easy, so please don't be discouraged. You guys can totally do this. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fun and safe Halloween. Leave any comments down below of any videos you want to see next, and I'll see y'all next time.